All right, now herbs and spices. So my blog, I put some kind of leafy herb on everything for presentation purposes because a lot of times when I'm plating a stew or a soup, it just looks like vomit or something. Like there's no context for your eye. So I put an herb on it. And like that chicken, I photographed it and it didn't look appetizing. So I put parsley on it and it just makes it look fresher and better. And then, so that's typically when I add them, is at the very end for presentation, but also it gives it that spark that I was talking about with the fries earlier. Woody herbs for slow cooking, like stuff your chicken with rosemary and thyme. Like that's just baseline, right? Everyone knows that. And then in terms of building a spice pantry, a lot of my recipes, like they will ask you to have turmeric and coriander and cumin and asafoetida and all these Indian spices, but people are like, gosh, I just don't have that. But one thing to keep in mind is just get it once and that stuff is going to last you for a long time. And it's easier to tweak to your own flavor preferences if your building was essentially a curry powder instead of just dumping curry powder out of a box, which sometimes I'll cheat and like do that. But I've noticed that a lot of times I add turmeric by itself for color, or I really just like use the different Indian spices in a way that I've developed that's a preference for me. A couple of my recipes say, hey, you should grind your own spices. I don't have a spice grinder, I do it in my blender, but something about fresh grinding them releases the oils, I think. And so it may not be something that you do regularly, but I really encourage you to just try it once and see the difference. And if you already do, then kudos, that's awesome. I like to grind my own spices in my marinades, like just put a little bit of coconut oil in there and then use the blender to grind the spices into the oil. And then you just have this like incredibly rich slurry that then you can like paste on meats and fishes or use it as a marinade. That's herbs and spices.